going on, all you Fox Body fanatics? Well, today it's not Fox Body. It's actually going to be SN95 video. So I took it out for the first ride of the year. Everything was great. Got back home, came in the garage a couple days later, and I noticed a spot of coolant about that big on the ground, and opened the hood, got the flashlight in, and realized it is leaking from the seam from the plastic tank on the side of the radiator to the aluminum core itself. So we're doing a radiator replacement on an SN95, so follow along if you will. All right, so we got Raven all jacked up with some room to work. Yeah, so this thing has Eibach lowering springs, brand new all the way around. This car is absolutely mint. Full pipe stainless exhaust. But I mean, just everything from the floor to the pinch weld. This car is clean. So, alright, so now that we got it up in the air, I guess we'll drain some coolant out. So the radiator is an Auto Shack brand radiator. I bought it on Amazon. It was the cheapest one they had, so therefore that's our winner. So this is the factory rad. It was pretty obvious where it was leaking. I probably should have thought to but yeah, it was right here, and that's all it took. So I guess this tank was separating, but it's the way the cookie crumbles. So this one feels cheap, I'm not gonna lie, but whatever, we'll put it in, and hopefully it'll be good, and eventually we can put a nice aluminum rad in it. But right now, this car, the goal is just to keep this car running and driving so it can do what it does, so we can finally start working on this thing. There's a little hint. There's stuff everywhere for this thing. It's actually full to the brim. Lots of surprises coming on this. But back to the task at hand. We're going to have to clean out the overflow tank because it's pretty nasty. So we'll try and clean that up the best we can, but it's going to be what it's going to be. While we're in here, we'll take the time and vacuum up the dead bugs. But yeah, no, this car is very, 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 very clean. The only rust on the entire car is a little bit on that bracket there and those ABS lines. But I mean, that's it. This car is absolutely minty, minty. All right, well, I realized I didn't buy enough coolant, so I'm off to the auto parts store. So new rad's in, bolted in, lower rad hose is on. Explain to me how this works. I got the other rad out, no problem. To get this one in, I was just missing a see you next Tuesday's hair. And I actually had to take the battery and the battery tray out just to clear it. I probably could have forced it in there with the battery tray there, but I mean, it's an Amazon radiator. How much abuse do you think it could possibly take? So, all right, we got to get the fans back in, get all the harnesses plugged back into the fan, and then we got to put our upper radiator hose back on, and we got to connect our puke bucket. But I got to clean out the puke bucket first, so. All right, back to work. All right, so we got our new rad in, fan all back in, all of our hoses back on. Just got to put the puke bucket on now. I let it soak. I was trying to clean it, clean the inside as best as I could. There's still some staining, but it is what it is, so. We'll install this, and then it'll be time to fill it up with the new coolant. So it's all buttoned up. All I have left to do is fill the coolant and burp it. So I'll do that tomorrow. I'll push it outside, and I'll do it with some daylight. So hopefully I'll be able to see any leaks. Hopefully there won't be any leaks, but you all know how that goes. So we'll see what my Chinesium radiator from Amazon, see if it holds water, see if it keeps it cool. Hopefully it will. So everything's all back together, new rad's in, overflow tank as clean as it's gonna get. We got it pretty good, I'm happy with it. Sure beats buying a new one. So now we're just gonna let her run, let her get up to temperature. Once it's up to temperature, we'll top off the puke bucket, put the cap on, and let it go through a good heat cycle and see if we have any leaks. So we let it run through a heat cycle, let the thermostat open up, the fan kick in, then we topped up the tank, clicked the cap rather, and then we let it run for a few minutes and we shut it off, and then we let it cool down. The puke bucket emptied, I would say, about halfway again, so we topped it up in between the add coolant lines, capped it, and now I'm letting it run through a heat cycle under pressure. So hopefully thermostat, everything kicks on when it's supposed to. That needle usually runs right at the middle. I know all these cars are a little bit different. Some run a little more to the right, some run a little more to the left, but this one's always been between the R and the M. So we're gonna let it get up to temperature, and if there's no leaks, we'll take it for a little rip around the block and see what's what. Fan just kicked on. Not seeing any visible leaks. If you see any coolant in random little cracks or whatever, it's because when I was heating it up and filling it, it boiled over. I used the air compressor and got most of it out, but there's still some remnants. Cardboard underneath, nice and dry. And that's its happy spot. So I'll let it run for like another 10 minutes and just make sure it maintains, and if we have no leaks after that, then we should be good to go. All right, temperature's right where it's supposed to be. I've been letting it run about 10 minutes since the fan kicked on. It's holding steady, so I'm just gonna take it for a little rip around the block, and we'll see if a hose pops off or something. So far so good. Not really doing any spirited driving because, you know, I don't shit where I eat. I'm not gonna start acting the fool on my own street. The neighbors know exactly who I am, so. All right, let's get back to the house and wrap this up. All right, you guys, heat test, heat cycle approved, test drive approved. Everything as far as the radiator goes is good. Temperature's holding, everything, cold cooling system's functioning properly, and we have no leaks. So mission accomplished. We got something done. Hey, maybe one of these days it'll be the Fox body. Who knows? All right, catch you in the next one.